Welcome. Hello from Ohio. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. All right. So tonight is going to be, the whole entire series is going to be based out of the Beyond the Budget workbook, which can be found in the link in my bio, and also the planner, which also can be found in the link in my bio. So this is the 2.0 planner, and then the workbook is a digital workbook. So we are going to be working through it and giving you guys some tips and tricks to get your finances in order. So first question is, anybody not on a budget? Is there anybody in TikTok or Instagram who is not on a budget? If you are not on a budget, type in the comments that you're not on a budget. If you are on a budget, type in the comments that you are on a budget and kind of let me know how it's going. So I did upload a new YouTube video, and it is a part of the Be Accountable podcast. And this one was about a fresh start. So that's kind of why I'm going through the steps again and showing y'all this, because a lot of people are restarting or they are just starting. So it's about being able to have that fresh start, not feel guilty, not feel ashamed, none of that, because it is okay to start over and over and over until you get it. Because each time you start over, there should have been a lesson that you learned. On a budget, and it's going good so far. Yay! Not on a budget, not on a budget. Well, welcome. Y'all are gonna learn. If you stick around for the entire series, you will be a-okay. Budget balling. I'm getting more consistent. I am, but got out of whack last week. It's just on YouTube. I've been trying to figure out, I figured out Spotify for the first couple episodes, but now I don't know why it's not uploading. So I'm still working on Spotify, but it is uploaded on YouTube today. Not on a budget. Okay, so we got some people who are on a budget and doing good. Some people who are on a budget but got knocked off. And then we also have some people who are not on a budget. So tonight's is going to be about mindset. So in order to get where you need to go, it is about your mindset, setting your goals, getting yourself together. We will also be doing one tomorrow. We will be doing one Thursday. We'll be doing another one on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So it's going to be 6 days if I'm remembering correctly. So tonight is a very big night, because in order to get your finances in order first, you definitely have to be thinking a certain way, believing a certain way, so that your actions may follow. So mindset is very important. I know y'all probably hear that about anything you do. If you work out, at work, or in relationships and friendships and things like that, that mindset is key. And it definitely is, especially when it comes to your finances. Again, the way you think about money reflects. The way you talk about money reflects. The way you feel about money reflects. The things you do with your money, is the patterns that you do, is going to reflect in your actual finances. So if we are ready, go ahead and type ready in the comments on both Instagram and on TikTok. Go ahead and type ready so we can go ahead and get started with tonight's quick session. I overspent this past weekend on a budget. It's going good so far. I'm more consistent this time around and proud of myself. So Jamie, I have a quick question. What do you think changed from the last time you tried to be on a budget until now? Trying to get on a budget, but every time I start, something happens that takes you right back down. Listen, let me tell you. Yesterday I was driving and something hit my window, and now my windshield is cracked. And at first I was really upset, but then I had to realize things are going to happen. And that is why emergency funds are important, which we'll talk about in one of the days, which is why changing your mindset about it is going to matter. Because if I were to continue to be down and out, continue to be complaining, not being able to fix it, it's going to have a bigger bad outcome than it is a good one. So I definitely understand y'all. Like I said, I am human just like y'all, and things happen and I understand. But the difference is I set myself up to be okay when those things happen. So definitely stick around. I finally ordered and can't wait to get my planner. Yay! All right, so we got some readies. We got some readies in the chat. So what is mindset? So a mindset is just a way of thinking. So how do you think? And this is going to be very interactive. So I hope y'all brought y'all tapping fingers and your commenting fingers, because we're going to have a conversation. Okay. So where are you now? I want you to think about how you think about money now, and be honest. It's okay if you think negative. It's okay if you're ashamed. It's okay if, your thinking is not always positive in money. So I do want to hear from y'all right now, before we even get into how you're going to change it. How are you thinking about money? Every time I tried to budget, things started coming up, and whatever money I saved, I would have to use. Yep. I started overnights and they paid me for my old position. So now they have to back pay me. Well, that's going to be nice when it actually comes. So let me know in the comments right now, today, before we even get into it, how do you think about money? How do you think about it? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Are you tired of handling it? Do you think that, all of your money is being taken up by all of the bills? Let me know. So you're stressed about money. Okay, so we have someone who's stressed, someone who wish they had more. It's a tool to survive. So that's how you think about it. Me and my money have a new understanding, and I love it. That's good. The bills is definitely a lot. The money goes to bills and grandkids. Working to pay bills with little left over and want to save more than I have. I like to save money. I don't like to spend any more money on stuff that I don't really need. Money is meant to be spent, which is why I currently live paycheck to paycheck. I'm crying. Very stressed about money, but I've also been without a job. Yup. Okay. So we have some who's doing good with their thinking, some who is not. Wish I can keep more in my envelopes. And that's what the mindset is really about, because the way you're going to get to your discipline is changing your mindset. So if you have a mindset of, like was said, like money is meant to be spent, any money that comes into my hand, I'm going to spend it, you're not going to save, which means you just took, because of how you think about it, you took what could have possibly been something to help you for your emergency, something to help you pay down debt, something to help you invest, something that's going to help you in the future, whatever it is. You took that chance of it being there because of the way that you think about money. Are things a want or a need? I'm not such great way, wasted. Okay. So when it comes to your mindset, again, this is just the lens that allows you to see what you want, okay? So if you see it as good, you're going to push it as good. If you see it as bad, you're going to push it as bad, okay? So when it comes to your mindset, it can either help you hit and achieve your goals, or it can make you not achieve your goals, okay? So it really doesn't matter what beliefs or values you have. If you have the wrong mindset, it's going to hinder you in a general sense, okay? Because again, if you think you're broke, you're going to react like you're broke. You're going to sound broke. You're going to be broke. But if you are in your abundance and you are speaking positive and you are thinking positive and you are moving positive, you're going to have a positive outcome. Making sure my money/employees are working for me to achieve my goal to travel and retire comfortably. Yes, that's where I'm trying to get to. I'm too strict on no spend. Then I binge when I get tired. of going without. And that all mindset goes back to your money trauma. Okay. So we're not going to really deep dive into money trauma tonight, but when it comes to how you grew up, when it comes to what you saw happen, when it comes to, again, how you think about money or how your family has thought about money for generations and generations and generations, you program yourself, which then you program your mindset, which then if you're living in a cycle, you're going to do good for a little bit and then you're going to fall off. Or you're going to hold on tight, like you said, and then you're going to want to just spin. It's going to depend on your mindset, your mood, your triggers. All of that comes into play. I keep pushing forward. However, it seems I can't get ahead. It's like your health and diet. You have to work for it and spend time on it. Exactly. And not only that, you have to know the balance. So when you're thinking about working out, which I've had tremendous results, but it could be better. You want to know why it could be better? Because I could balance the eating part, because eating is more important than the actual working out. The working out is like complementary to the to the eating, right? So if I were to be disciplined and do what I need to, you see the results. So just like with your finances, if you're disciplined and you're actually following your plan, even though it may be annoying, even though you feel like you're missing out, even though, you can take that money out and go spend it on whatever you want to, the discipline is going to bring you the results. The consistency is going to bring you the results. But if you don't see the value in getting to that goal, you're not going to get there. If you don't see the value in paying off your debt, you're not going to pay off your debt. If you don't see the value in having a good credit score, you're not going to care about your credit score. When we get our minds fixed on something and we enjoy doing it, or we believe that this is good for us, we're going to work for it. We're going to work towards it. We're going to do what we need to do. But if you're putting something on the back burner, how many times have you said, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then it slips to the back of your mind? That's because it's not a priority. And when you make stuff a priority, you get it done. When you make stuff a non-negotiable, you get it done. And that's all you have to do with your finances. It's not something that's some magic thing that only 1% of the world is understanding. No, they took it upon themselves to say enough was enough. Because how many stories have we heard? They went from nothing to now millionaires and living big and living large. It's not by luck. It's because they put their head down. They were consistent. They did what they needed to do to see the results. So that's going to be the same thing when it comes to your money. If you want to get out of debt, your mindset needs to be, regardless of what happens, I'm getting out of debt. I'm going to put myself on a plan. And if my plan is not working, I'm going to figure out how to change the plan to work in my favor. But if the debt is not important and it's not really on your shoulder tapping on you, because again, you change your mindset to the debt is going to have to wait. You're going to continue to be in this debt. You're going to continue to be in this cycle. You're probably going to continue to rack up more debt. And you're going to wonder why you're still in the same situation, or you're going to wonder why when things happen to you, you don't have the money to do it, or all of your bills are taking up all of your income. The only person who is in control of the money that is coming into your hands is you. So the only person that can get themselves out of that situation is you. And it starts with you thinking that it's possible, thinking that this is really what you want to do. However, everything keeps coming on that I don't seem to get ahead. And y'all, when it comes to your finances, when it comes to life, things happen, especially in the beginning, but you gotta push and you have to give it even more. So if your emergency fund is taken because something happened, now I know I need to fast pace as much as possible to get my emergency fund back. Again, it goes back to prioritizing. So if you let your emergency fund take care of something and then you just say, forget it, I'm not doing it, that's because you didn't prioritize that I need to have this amount at all times. Even if I use it, I got to put it back. So what is the difference between scarcity and abundance? And a lot of people, based upon your answers, you live in a scarcity mindset. You live in a mindset where you believe that your resources are not enough. When you ask for more money or wish for more money, but you're just sitting back, you don't believe that it's out there for you. You just got to go get it. So when you're in a scarcity mindset, you're more focused on what you don't have. You're more focused on what you can't get. You're more focused on everything being limited. You will forever want just a little more. Because if you said, I wish I had an extra $50,000. When you get that $50,000, I can promise you, if you are still in a scarcity mindset, you are still going to say that was not enough. Even though you just said $50,000 would help me clear my debt, it would help me start fresh and I'll be okay. But when you get it and you see how fast you had, like it left, you're going to say, dang, I need some more. I need some more. But if you switch it from the scarcity of focusing on everything you don't have, and you switch it into the abundance mindset, and now you are able to create opportunities for yourself, you're able to start believing, and I mean really believing that there is enough. You're going to start being able to use the money that you have now to create even more money for yourself. Because when you're in an abundance mindset, you make sure that every dollar makes sense. And most of the people who are at the top 10%, if not lower, they're always thinking, how's my money going to make money for me? But if you're in the scarcity mindset, you're thinking, how can I hold on to this money? Or how can I spend this money quick just for something that's going to satisfy me for the time being? You're stuck in the right now. You're not stuck in what's going to multiply over time. You're not stuck in that this is not a race for you to sprint. Are we getting where I'm going? And I understand that a lot of it has to do with the way you grew up, the way that your parents thought about it, the way that their parents thought about it, the way that you were missing out when you were younger. I understand that, but there has to come a time where you say, that's not going to be my crutch anymore. Because that's all it is. It's an excuse, and excuses are just a crutch. Trust me, been there, done that, stayed at CPS longer than I should have, stayed at foster and adoption longer than I should have. And it wasn't until I got that nudge, I got that push. And it's true that certain people come into your life for a reason. So those people that we think are annoying us or pushing us further than we think we can be, are always bringing up, things that we could be doing. And we're looking at it like, yeah, nah, that's that scarcity mindset. That's that mindset of I'm comfortable where I'm at and I don't want to go to the uncomfortable. And when you don't go to the uncomfortable, you stay in the same cycle. So I could have been staying in that cycle of only making 30, 33, 35, something like that a month, not understanding where all my money was going, not taking the time to actually appreciate what I did have, because when I was working and didn't like it, I started focusing on everything that I hated about it instead of being grateful for what I did have, which is where a lot of people get stuck. You might not like the job, but you must understand you have income. You have choices. So you can either stay and do what you need to do, or you can find somewhere else to go. Every single day you get up, you have choices. You have choices with what to eat. You have choices with which way you're going to go to work. You have choices with who you're talking to that day. You have choices from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. I have to learn how to be intentional with speaking positive about the life I want. Absolutely. Absolutely. So the question right now is, and this again, interactive, so I need y'all to talk to me. What limits do you place on yourself when it comes to your finances? Because one thing I learned is I don't tell myself no anymore. And I know y'all heard me say this before. I don't tell myself no. I tell myself not right now. Because when I tell myself no, I'm limiting myself. But I literally believe that I can get what I want. I can be who I want. I can do what I want. But it's not in this certain moment if I'm saying not right now. I'm so mad that because of bad debt, I can't buy my dream home, which came on the market. And that's just a lesson learned, Catherine. That just means that it should have lit some fire under you to say, I'm not missing my next opportunity. I'm going to do what I need to do right now. You don't put any limits on yourself. I love that. So TikTok, what limits do you put on yourself when it comes to your finances? I don't allow myself any spending money. And that's a big limit. That's a big limit. I don't buy it if I can't afford it. I wait until I can afford it. I have a lot of debt, but I need to break it down and handle one by one. If I don't have the cash, I don't get it unless it's an emergency. I lock my card. I don't spend, but my husband spends. So I have to create an account for him, an envelope. Yep. Tell him he needs to learn too. All right, so the next question before we move on is, which area of your life do you apply a scarcity mindset? Do you apply it to your love life, to your friendships, to your finances, to your work, to all of the above? Or do you pick and choose different areas of your life? Hey, girl. Or do you pick and choose areas of your life? To your finances? Okay. It's a lot of mindset work. Oh, you gonna get me started. Being a single mom. I'm sorry, I do not like that. I do not like when people bring that up, because that has nothing to do with who you are. You are a mother who is getting her finances together. It is okay if you have to do it by yourself. Is it hard? Yes. But it's also hard with two people. So being a single mother is something that I will never take as this is why X, Y, and Z is happening. There are so many single mothers that are out here doing it, not by choice, obviously, but they're getting it done. Why? Because their mindset is not stuck on being a single mother. Their mindset is stuck on, I'm a mother, my kids deserve this, and I'm going to make it happen. So that is, I mean, there's some other ones, but that is one where I'm like, absolutely not. If you tell me that, I'm going to give you this same speech over and over and over. That is not who you are. You are not defined by being a single mother. Sorry, I had to say that because I saw it, but sometimes it's harder as a couple than as a single parent. And I can honestly say it's because of coming from different money backgrounds makes it hard for two people to come together and get it together. Because they avoid the conversations. They avoid, making a plan as a couple. Majority of the time you'll see a household where one may make the money and then hand the money over. So then that other one, whether that's the one making the money or the one that's not, or they're both making it, but yet one is in control, you'll see that usually whoever is in control, that is kind of how the house is ran. Which in return can make the other one feel some type of way because they like, I'm bringing home the money. Or they might not feel some type of way because they've always just been in the position where, that's their role, is just to make the money, and then the other one is supposed to take care of it, right? So it just really depends. And I feel like that's what makes it hard, because as a single mother, you can make as a mother who is single, you can make the choices. You don't have to have a conversation with anybody but yourself. I'm divorced and not a single mother by choice. I'm telling you, it's not an excuse I've ever used. It's just the truth that it's extremely tough to balance things. It is. But like I was just saying, being in a relationship is the same. It's extremely hard if you don't know how to have the tough conversations. The 2.0 is $68. That includes your shipping, and it is also in my TikTok shop. So if you look in the TikTok shop, they may have coupons for you as well. But that's literally like, just because I'm telling you, if you're a mother that is single and you get in a relationship and y'all cannot talk about finances, it's still going to be hard because y'all are not going to be on the same accord. You're not going to be doing things as one. You're going to be doing it separate, which then in return is going to make you feel some type of way because they're doing X, Y, and Z with their money. They're doing X, Y, and Z with the joint account. They're doing X, Y, and Z with the savings. They're doing X, Y, and Z with this. They saved the majority of that money. So now they looking at you like, you better not touch my money. It's not going to be easy just because it's two people. Because again, it boils down to, are you having the money conversations? Are you sitting down and looking over the bills every single month? Are you sitting down together and making decisions? Or is it more of a, I'm going to do it because it's my money type of thing? So either way, it's going to be tough until you heal your money trauma, you understand money, and you let money work for you and not against you. A lot of people separate because of money. Not that they weren't making money, but the money habits that neither one was trying to get rid of. Money is an issue if you make it an issue. It shouldn't be this hard to talk about money, but you have to think of the generations before you that didn't do it either. You learn by what is taught to you. And if money was not taught to you, you're out here trying to figure it out at 20 something, and so is your parent at the same time, even though they're about to be 60. I need to change my mindset in order for me to be better at saving. Money is the root of all evil. And that is a mindset. If you believe that money is evil, you're going to treat it as such. You're not going to treat it as something that's delicate, something that's a good tool. You're literally going to just do what you have to do, which is pay the bills and figure the rest out later. But it wasn't until I realized that money is working for me, about what needed to be done with the money, that I found balance in paying off debt, that I found balance in paying the bills, that I found balance in being able to actually keep money in my savings. Because I'm sure a lot of us on here have saved, but you couldn't keep it there. It's also what I've seen growing up in regards. And that's what I'm saying. It all ties into it. But what happens is a lot of people skip this step. So instead of facing the issues that you have and digging down to the root of your money problem, you skip over it or go around it thinking you're safe. And then boom, you get knocked back and you're wondering, why, God, why is all this happening to me? When am I going to get a season of relief? When am I going to do this? When am I going to be able to go on vacation? When am I going to be able to pay off this and do this? You're not going to do it if you're just putting a Band-Aid or avoiding what's really the issue. The issue is not you spending the money. The issue is why. What makes you spend the money? What triggers you to spend the money? What makes you feel you need to spend the money? And I can tell when people talk to me how they think about money. And it's not just because I've been studying, doing all this, but it's because when people ask me, you don't want to spend all your money? You don't want to spend the money that's in your budget book? You don't want to just go on a shopping spree? You don't want to do this? You don't want to do that? No, because I've been in the process of healing what I need to heal within myself, which has changed my mindset, which has put me in a different position to take the money that I'm making and put it where I believe it needs to go. But the past me absolutely couldn't keep $1, couldn't save $1, couldn't even save a penny. I'm counting up change trying to figure out how I can get this and get that. But it was the way that I was thinking. It was the way that I was believing. The love of money is the root. We have to learn to be wise with it. Exactly. I was one of them who put money in and took it out, usually for a purse. And again, it's more than just you impulsively shopping. It's deeper than that. You have to dig and say, well, why am I doing this? When did this pattern start? What was life like when I was first introduced to this habit? Who introduced me to this habit? What were the words that were being said when I got into what I'm into? What trauma happened that made me do it? Because majority of the time when something happens, something clicks and we like, I don't want this to ever happen again. Or you just go through the same cycle and you're okay with it happening over and over because you're just not in the position to actually fix it. Oh, let me put it up. Hold on. Here you go. Hold on, y'all. It should be pinned in the cart. And that's another thing. Comparing yourself. Jealousy. Envy. When you change your mindset, instead of thinking, oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, I hope I can do that one day. Look at people and say, I can do that too. Let me put my plan in place so that I can hit it. Because when you say you wish, you hope, that's putting limits on yourself and you're saying that you can't get there. And you're wishing and hoping on a miracle to get you there instead of putting in the work, because they got it from putting in some work. A lot of people on the internet show you the end result, but you didn't see what happened time and time again, the lessons they had to learn, the losses they had to deal with to get to where they're at. And my prime example of this is Kanye. I did not like that man. That's what happened, not the men. I did not like him for a very long time because I felt like he was cocky. I felt like he just thought he was just everything. I felt like the way he just walked, talked, he just knew he was at the top, right? And then his his documentary came out and I said, Lord, I did not know he went through what he went through, all the no's he had to get through just for him to get a yes. And guess what he didn't do? He didn't give up. But I was just looking I'm talking about Kanye. I was just looking at him now. And him now is saying, I worked for this. I worked to be able to talk like this. I worked to be able to walk like this. I had so many no's and I never gave up. So guess what? That proved to me that I can do it. I did it. I can do it again. Y'all do realize he is not fazed about all this stuff that was thrown at him. He is not fazed at all. I mean, of course, his pockets is probably, a little bit, but he knows how to make money. He knows how to make his money work for him. Didn't he have what do you call it? Super Bowl thing as well, where he turned that into a positive. And that's what I'm saying. If you learn to manage your finances and you get knocked off, you should be able to get back up and say, I can do it again. If you saved $1,000, but you had to use the $1,000, you should be able to say, I can save $1,000 again. Because you did it. You proved to yourself that you could do it because you hit that milestone. So when it comes to your mindset, you literally have to look at it and say, what is the outcome? What is supposed to be the outcome? What am I supposed to learn? But instead of digging deep into the losses, digging deep into why it didn't work, digging deep into what's going on with you, you complain, you give up, you stop doing it. You say it didn't work one time, so it's not going to work again. Hey, y'all. Welcome in. And that's why I say when you wake up in the morning, the way you think, that's how your day is going to go. So if you wake up, oh, I'm good. I am grateful. Thank you, Lord. I woke up. Thank you, Lord. I got some food in my house. Thank you, Lord. I have a car. Thank you, Lord. I get to go to work today and make some coins. Thank you, Lord, for what I don't even have yet. Thank you, Lord, for what I lost, because it's obvious that I didn't need it in this season. Thank you, Lord. I am grateful. But I bet you, and y'all can let me know in the comments, I bet you majority of the people on these lives wake up and the first thing they think about is man. Of the people on these lives wake up and the first thing they think about is man. And all that does is set the tone for your day. All that does is have that at the forefront of your thinking the entire day. Rather than thinking about the positive, thinking about the positive, thinking about your goals, thinking about where you want to be, thinking about how you're going to get there. So if you were to, no limit, y'all, no limit. What does an abundant life look like for you? You have no limit. It's probably because they gave me a restriction, y'all. I might have to restart because they gave me a restriction on TikTok. Or y'all can go to Instagram. Yeah, I got a restriction. I don't know what's been going on. Y'all want me to restart? Let me know. Y'all want me to restart? It says your live may contain themes not suitable for younger audiences and has been age restricted. So I don't know what's going on. Okay. I'm going to restart. Not on Instagram. I'm going to restart on TikTok real quick. All right. All right, we back, y'all. Let's see. I don't even know how to like turn on the age thing that they be talking about. Okay. So the question was, and y'all can start answering on Instagram, but what does an abundant life look like for you? If you had no limits on what your life could look like, what does it look like? And as you're coming in on TikTok, y'all can answer the question as well. What does an abundant life look like? You have no limits on yourself. You have no limits on the money. You have no limits on your lifestyle. What does it look like? Family vacations out of the country. Okay. So when it comes to your abundant life, it's about money and it's about experiences. Health, family, happiness, life in a lake house with working as much or little as desired. Okay. So Think about it. Are you working for other people? Are you working for yourself? What are you doing? When it comes to things like this, it's going to get you prepped and ready to set your goals. It's going to get you prepped and ready to know where you need to go. So when you're thinking about what you want your lifestyle to be, what you want your life to look like, you have to be specific. You have to know the ins and outs. You have to know the details, right? Because if you just say, I want more money, right? And then you get more money, but it's only $20 extra every paycheck. You asked for more money. You didn't say how much you wanted. You didn't say the number. Being debt free, traveling, and having land and rental properties. Okay, and when you say that, how many rental properties do you see you owning? How much land do you see yourself owning? Where do you see yourself traveling to? Get your first home. What does your first home look like? Peace, free, and memories. What does peace look like? How do you define peace? How do you define free? Building wealth with rental properties. Again, how many rental properties do y'all see when you're thinking of that? Traveling at least once a year and bills paid with no questions on how. I know that's right. Health and travel. Health, family, boss of a building. What kind of building? What kind of boss? Property owner. How many properties? Where are you traveling to? So be detailed. The reason why you are detailed when it comes to this portion is because, again, you have to see it. You have to believe it. You have to be thinking about it. You have to say, this is what I'm working for. But again, if you have this broad idea of, okay, I want to be a property owner, who knows what that property is going to be or how many you're going to actually get. But if you're like, I am going to have 10 properties looking like this, and that, now you have something specifically you're working towards, and now you're making it come true. I'm saving for a home. What is the best challenge to do? Are you just starting, or have you been doing savings challenges? Because if you're just starting, I say start a small challenge, a $1 challenge, a $3 challenge, a $10 challenge, a $20 challenge. The reason why I say that is because if you are not already in the habit of saving, you have to start the habit of saving, because majority of the people, they get excited. The stuff is cute. They purchase stuff. They use it for a little bit. They never go back to it. Why? Because it was only in the moment. You were only getting that dopamine for the moment. You were not sitting there creating a habit. And when you create the habit, it becomes a part of your routine. When you create that routine, it doesn't feel like a chore. When it doesn't feel like a chore, you're most likely to hit the goal. And that is why I say start low, start with 1 to 2 challenges at a time. Figure out your money first before even thinking about what you're going to save, because you have to know if you have the money available to save. And if you're starting the 100 envelope challenge, realize that once you get to the bigger ones, you're gonna feel some kind of way. I promise you, everybody has. When they get to the bigger ones, they're like, oh, I gotta take $89 and put it in here. So again, create the habit, change the mindset. So now my next question, y'all done put in here all the stuff that you're working towards. You put in here all of that. So what's stopping you? What's stopping you? What is in your way of getting that lifestyle you just said? I'm only doing monthly challenges first, and I have already started on May. It's a big one. Yes. How much is May? I need to print it out, or I might just do it digitally. So you put in the chat what you wanted your lifestyle to be, what your abundant life would look like, what's stopping you from getting there. Myself made many excuses, like you said, changing your bad habits. And that's being open and honest. That's you realizing that you're standing in your own way. And once you come on, go get something for that. Once you guys realize what's standing in your way, now you can say, how am I going to change that? So if you're standing in your own way, what are you going to do so that you're not anymore? And that's what I want y'all to be thinking about tonight. Your abundant lifestyle and your abundant life looks like what? What's standing in your way? And what plan do you need to put in place so that you can get over the hurdle that is making you stay still? Because the budget part is easy. It is the overthinking. It is the impulsively spending. It is the bad management. But all of that is fixable. My abundant life, owning a single family home, being a successful business owner, traveling with and without my kids. And what is standing in your way of that right now? And that's exactly why I put this as the very first thing. So I'm going to go through this, and then we're going to talk about why you should change your mindset. And then y'all going to do y'all homework, okay? It's hard for me to say, but I'm learning to give every dollar a job, and it's been working well for me for the past 2 paychecks. And that's all it is, giving every dollar a job. And how do you do that? You start. You're not going to know what works and what doesn't work with your finances. You're not going to know what budget method works for you and what doesn't. You're not going to know how to save and how much you have to save until you actually get started. You have to start. You don't have to make more money to start. You don't have to do all this extra stuff to be able to start. You honestly don't have to right off the bat cut out stuff in your budget just to get started. And that is why the first 10 days in this planner is important. And that's why I put it in there. How often do you treat yourself to shopping? That's the main thing that's hurting me. You want to know what I honestly do? I make myself a splurge category. Within that splurge category, I could spend it at any given time. That's just like if you see people who are cash stuffing and they have a Target envelope. They're not restricting themselves. They are saving up, and whatever money is in that category, they can go to Target and get what they want. So they're still managing their finances, but they are also getting some of those wants that they want. It's not about cutting stuff out. It is about making what you're doing make sense. So if you have the money and it's not going to mess up your debt, it's not going to mess up your savings, it's not going to mess up your bills being paid on time, and it is a little cushion of extra money that you set aside for you to do what you want, absolutely. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel shame. Don't feel nothing, because that's what it's there for. I spend my splurge category on myself. I have categories for everyone else in the family, including the dog. But honey, that splurge category is for me. And when I went and I splurged on TikTok shop, I mean, it was only about $35, but still, I did not feel guilty. You want to know why? Because that's what that money was there for. I feel like, why save $10 when that may be I feel like, why save $10 when that may be all I got left out of my paycheck? And if that's everything that you have left out of your paycheck, save a portion of the 10. Again, it's not about how much you're saving. It is about what habit are you creating? If you're thinking that way, you're creating the habit that you have to have a certain amount of money to save. Do you see where I'm going with that? In your mind, you're saying, okay, I only have $10. That's not enough to save. But there's literally a challenge out here called the Penny Savings Challenge, and the highest amount you put in is $3.65. But when you're done, you save $667. So that change that we think is not enough has now multiplied into $667. But because you feel that you need more money in order to save it, that's why you don't have a savings, because you're waiting for that more money, but you're not going to get the more money until you learn the management in the beginning. Ooh. And that is exactly why writing something to yourself, I don't care if you write it pen and paper, pencil paper, colored pencil. I don't care if you type it in your notes section. Write a letter to yourself. Let go. Tell yourself that you don't want to do it anymore. Tell yourself that you're tired. Tell yourself you're not living paycheck to paycheck anymore. Tell yourself that you are going to be debt free. Not you hope, not you wish. You are going to be debt free. You are going to get the home you want. You are going to go out of the country like you want to go out of the country. You are going to make those memories that you want. But you want to know why you feel like you can't? Because you're prolonging your time. The more you do the same stuff, the longer it's going to take you to see the results. The longer it takes you to get on your budget plan and do what you need to do with your money, the longer you are taking for you to get what you want. The longer you keep blaming everyone else around you, oh, well, they didn't do this. They didn't teach me this. You're old enough to make the decisions now. Make the decisions. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, work on stop living paycheck to paycheck. Is it something that you're going to do overnight? Absolutely not. But again, every small step that you make, every small habit that you change is for the better. So when things start happening, don't get upset. Handle your business. Move forward. Do what you need to do. But mindset is something that you have to work on every single day. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have in-between days. You're going to have days that start out bad, but then they end good. You're going to have days that start out good and then they end bad. But what majority of the people do is they hold on to it. It's 3 days down the road and they still hold on to it. We got new choices we need to make the next day. We cannot keep going on what happened. The only reason you should be focused on what happened is if you're willing to see what you were supposed to learn from it. My husband and I, we love cruising, looking at one around the world over 200 days. Oh, I couldn't do that. How you going to be in the water for 200 days? I mean, I know you probably get off and get back on, but I'll be ready to come home. So yes, write your letter, y'all. Let it out. Or if you need to express it to somebody else and just say, hey, listen, I just need to vent. Just let me get this off my chest. I know you're not going to judge me. I know you're not about to do this, but I need to let it go. Get a therapist. Do whatever you need to do to learn to heal and not just put band-aids on it, not just avoid it, not just ignore it. And don't think that your situation is any worse than another, because I'm here to tell you every single person in this world has money trauma at some point in their life, which holds them back. But the ones who heal it and understand, they can move forward. The ones who don't, those are the ones that live in the same cycle. So just like I told y'all earlier, write out your top 5 goals. Y'all just said what you were working towards. Oh, sorry, y'all. I done pushed y'all off. Y'all just said what you was working towards. You said what your abundant life looks like. Those are your goals. That's what you want in life. Now you're going to reverse engineer it and you're going to say, okay, if I want this home, what do I need to have in place to get my dream home? And you're going to work it piece by piece. Now that I had opened the conversation once with my husband about money, we talk about it a lot more. And that's what it is. We need the money conversations. We need to know, just like you need to know your significant other's love language, you need to know their money language as well. Because all you do is you build it and you build it and you build it and you build it. And then one more snap and boom, here you are laying it all out. And they like, you've been feeling like this for how long? And you ain't even like, I'm being blindsided here. And you making it seem like I did you wrong, but I didn't know. If you need more income, what are you doing to increase your income? The more income is not just going to come and fall out the sky. The more income is going to be you putting in the work. And again, it goes back to, okay, I need more income. Well, with your goals, how much more income do you need? That's what I mean by details. That's what I mean by being specific. And then thinking positive. I need y'all repeating it to yourself. I need y'all to believe it. I need y'all to see it. I need y'all to understand that it is possible. When you wake up, add this into your routine. Add this into changing your habits. And I finished it late last week. But Atomic Habits, it is a very good book. Why? Because it shows you that all it takes is small changes at a time. All it takes is you waking up, reading your affirmations, being grateful, brushing your teeth, going about your day. And you do it again. And you do it again. And you do it again. And all of a sudden, you don't have to force yourself to do it. Why? Because you created the habit. And that's with the same thing with your finances. You have to create the habit. So when I say rinse and repeat throughout the months, when I say consistently do it throughout the month, when I say Figure out what is a want and what is a need. When I say figure out where all of your money is going and give every dollar a job, I'm not just saying it to say it. I'm saying it because you're gonna have to hear it over and over and over. You're gonna have to do it over and over and over for it to actually sink in and you say, all right, I got this. Because I am going through this, and this is not the first time I've done this. I am going through this step by step, and I promise you, by next Tuesday, there are still going to be people who don't do it. One, because they're not ready, and two, because they're not creating the habits to actually get it done. And this is why it is in the beginning of the planner. This is why I preach about this time and time and time again. Don't skip the beginning steps. Don't think you don't have to work on your mindset. Don't think that you don't have to work on your money trauma. Don't think that you don't have to set your goals. Because if you get into the actual budget and you haven't done all them things, you're not going to know why you're doing this. You're not going to know where you need to go. You're not going to know what systems and plans to put in place to get you there. But instead, you want to skip to, let me put $1,000 in my savings account and wonder why you're taking it right back out. You skip the steps. Again, it is not a race that you have to sprint. New money habits. But how do you really change your mindset? Piece by piece. Again, wake up. Say what you're grateful for. Now on your mind, you're thinking of the positive. Saying your affirmations. The more you say it and the more that things start happening for you, the more you're going to believe it. Which then you're going to say, oh, that wasn't that bad. I probably could have been doing this, which I get a lot. When I help people save, they're like, I could have been saving. The reason why you weren't is because it was not in your routine. It was not a part of your positive mindset because you were stuck thinking on the negative. Literally, small steps is all it takes. Read books. Instead of scrolling, do research. Fill out workbooks. Get a journal. Express yourself. Show yourself different things. It does not always have to be something dramatic. Small steps will get you there. Why? Because one, you actually get to see what's going on and you're not rushing it. And two, you can learn as you go. Because we all started not knowing. We all started afraid. We all started with a little bit, unless we're just, fortunate to have more. But you start to create what you want. And that's why I'm a big write it down person, because when I write it down, it's like something is going into my brain. So I write everything down. Even though I put stuff in my notes on my phone and stuff, I still have to write it down because that is how I see it. If you have to speak it out loud, like when I'm reading scriptures and stuff, I have to write it. I have to write it over and over. If you're the type of person you have to speak it out loud. Speak it out loud. Exactly. When you say, oh, I'm broke, and you like, I'm just playing, don't play about it. If you say I'm broke, be like, nah, I ain't even about to claim that. I ain't about to. No, I understand that the thought is in my head, but it's not staying there because that's not my reality. So what are you going to stop doing with your money? What are you going to do less of with your money? What are you going to keep doing with your money? You do need to figure that out. Because what you're going to stop doing is what you need to create new habits for. What you're going to do less of is what you now need to be intentional about. What you're going to keep doing is what absolutely needs to be done. That's a small step. That's literally a small step that you just took by doing this. And what did it do? It showed you what direction you were going in next. So give yourself the time, just like we make time to go out. We make time to be on the phone. We make time to scroll social media. Y'all make time to come to my lives every time I come on at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Just like you make time for all of that, you need to make time for your finances. You need to commit to it. If you say that your financial day to sit down is on Sunday, do it. Because again, if you keep putting it to the side, you're prolonging everything and you're not creating the habit. But when you sit down every Sunday for 30 minutes to an hour and you rake through your finances and you figure out what's working, you figure out what's not working, especially in the beginning. I don't care about anybody else on here telling you you don't have to do all this. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because you have to heal the money trauma. And the way you heal the money trauma is you become one with your finances. Yes, later down the road, you could be more lenient. You can do this, you can do that. But in the beginning, you have to be intentional because that is what is going to change your mindset. That is what is going to change the habits, is you actually taking it seriously. So why even worry about changing your mindset? Because what you get out of an abundance mindset is big, better, and endless. It's less stress. It's more success. It's enjoying the one life you get. It's understanding that unexpected things do happen and they're going to happen, but you know, and you're in the position to take care of it. So you take care of it and you move on. You appreciate everything you have going on. You have access to more opportunities because you believe that they are there and you take them. You are reducing all of that anxiety that you are putting on yourself, thinking that money is running the world. It's running you because you allow it to. Because you believe that's the only way. You are able to take back control of your life. You are able to be happier. You are able to see more than just where you are. And if you need help, ask for help. Don't feel ashamed because you need somebody to help you get there. If you need an accountability partner, find an accountability partner. If you need to take courses, take courses. If you need to come on my live all the time, come on the live. But don't just let it go in and go out. Let it go in and put it into action. Let it go in and put it to action. Understand you. Understand what you want. Even if you're in a relationship, understand what you want. Even if you have kids, understand what you want. Because it's so easy to focus on everybody but yourself and wonder why you're tired, you're exhausted, you don't get anything because you give them your all. Those are choices that you make. Why? It stems back to money trauma. You don't care if you're without, but the people around you are not going to be without. But the saying that everybody says that is so true, how can you pour from an empty cup? How can you show your kids a better life if you're not living up to it? If you're falling in the same traps, guess what? The kid's going to do the same thing. Somebody has to stop the cycle. The way that the cycle is stopped is by getting it together. Is by understanding it. Is by teaching. Is by learning and doing. So that's what I got for y'all tonight. I really want y'all to take the time to sit down and ask yourself, what money habits do you have now? What do you want to get rid of? What are you holding on to? What is stopping you from the abundant life that you dream of? What steps need to be taken in order to get there? If something is standing in your way, how are you going to deal with it? That's the homework. That is the homework for tonight. I want y'all to really understand your money habits. Don't just write down impulsive spending and keep it going. Why do you impulsively spend? What position do you put yourself in that makes you want to spend money? What are your money triggers? Why do you feel like just because you have money, you got to go spend it? What kind of mindset do you have? How do you think about money? And when you think you got deep enough, go deeper. When you think you went deep enough, go deeper. So any questions? Any last minute things? Any last minute questions? We will be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we will continue this series. Tonight was mindset. Tonight was digging deeper. Tonight was figuring out your why. Why do you want to get on this budget plan? Why do you want to have a fresh start on your budget plan? Why do you want to continue this budget plan? Because even though you may already be on a budget, you still need to check in and say, okay, is my plan still working? So no questions. If not, I will see y'all 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure y'all tell y'all friends, y'all tell y'all family to come hang out with us tomorrow evening. And what is, hold on. Don't forget, if you want to get the workbook, it is in the BIO. If you want to get the planner, it will be shipped out tomorrow. Hey. No, and I will most likely not be live at all on Friday. All right, y'all. Hey. As I always leave and say, y'all do good. Y'all do good. I am not cash stuffing right now. Dang, I'm trying to figure out what I said. Good night, good night, good night. As I always leave and say, y'all, be budgeted.